The problem with man, we are loved and hated by the gods because we have the full spectrum of emotion. We can love universally. We can give, we can show such love, affection, and devotion. But we can also show such hatred and disregard and brutality at the same time. And they love us because of that one end of the spectrum. We are so loving and caring, and we make love songs, and we do this and that. And this is talked about in the Urantia book. When you go to government-run planets. Oh, you didn't know there was other planets out there? Oh, there's a lot. We went to something called an elementary school. There's lots of other elementary schools out there. You don't know it, but there's lots of them. Most of them are government-ran. Okay. And government-run planets, all education, all religion, all science, everything has to do with progression, mental, spiritual, and emotional progression. Life is orderly, logically, everything is rational. I guess it would be like going to Vulcan. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. The problem is the Earth have never been under government control. We have always been a rebel held planet. This is why so many of our alien visitors love to watch us and observe us, because this is better than watching Netflix. This is better than this is like a sitcom that never ends. And they can hang over one of our cities, like they can float above Mexico City or Bangkok, Thailand, and you got the richest of the rich and people living and dying on the street right next to each other. And they get along peacefully. And you got cities that have no, they're laid out in no pattern. There's no organization. You got total chaos. And people still seem to get up, do what they need to do, go to work, come home, and go to sleep every night. And they can't, and they're scratching their heads. How can they do that? And we've been doing it for thousands of years. Okay. We have never done anything that we were supposed to do. Okay. We have never listened to authority. They have sent representatives. In case you don't know this, from upstairs, they sent a representative to this world every 2,100 years to try to put us on the path. A major prophet is sent to this world every 2,100 years. A minor prophet is sent every 300 years. And this has been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And what have we done to most of these prophets? We killed a lot of them. Okay. Okay. We've done everything. Some of them started religious movements, this and that and everything else, but it still have never changed society. Even though we call ourselves Christians, we still doing everything. So they had this idea, why don't we just replace them? And it took them 100 years. How many millions of trillion? Who knows? But they finally finished with their creation. Now, we're going to talk about what their plan was. It didn't work. Their plan was, this is why you have always heard about these zombie movies. Because The Walking Dead is secret society films. They talk about something in The Walking Dead that nobody pays attention to. That everybody on Earth was the zombie virus did not come along. It was a part of our DNA. And for some reason, something turned it on. You probably missed that episode. They've talked about that a lot. It is not that a comet hit or we bit something or there contamination. Everybody on the earth is in the DNA. And since everyone has it, when you die, you automatically convert into a zombie. There's no way to stop it. And in the episode, when they did go to the CDC, they was trying to find a way to get around it. But since it's in the DNA, there's nothing they can do. There's a lot of things in our DNA we don't know about. Because the reason why the red button is in our DNA, because which I've talked about before, this is heavy Gnostic information. You may not be ready for this, but I'm going to tell you. When you look at the evolution of a horse or a dog, it's a wave. And you can see how horses and dogs or cats or elephants have changed over millions of years. Okay. When you look at the evolution of us, we are not a wave. We are a tree where every species of human that have ever existed came from nowhere, lived for so long, and then all of a sudden it died out. And then another branch started and it lasted for so long and died out. And the branches never touch each other, and they don't know how the branch gets started, and they don't know how the branch dies. Perfect example of this is Neanderthal. They was around for 250,000 years. They thought Neanderthal was just in Europe. Now they know that Neanderthal covered the entire earth. They was everywhere. They buried people. They found Neanderthal. They was very brutal people. They was super huge. 250 pounds. They was massive. They did not hunt their prey like we did. Primitive man used to use bow and arrows and spears. They used to use clubs and try to beat animals. And they would suffer massive injuries. And they have found Neanderthal skeletons with 3 or 4 leg breaks and 2 arm breaks, but they healed perfectly. I guess they had Neanderthal hospitals. Because if you break your arm in 2 or 3 places and it healed back perfectly, you must have had a cast. And while your arm was broken in 3 places and took a year to heal, somebody must have fed you. And we have found Neanderthal skulls that have giant cracks in the skulls, and it seems like somebody puts a plate or something. It was doing everything. Okay. And then all of a sudden, they're gone. They was everywhere, and then there was nowhere. And they just vanished. That's what they was planning on doing to us. They got that big red button. If they pressed that big red button, we would be in the dirt very rapidly. This is the reason when the Garden of Eden was started, they wasn't supposed to leave the garden. Because there was others outside the garden. They was planning on doing what the Black Eyed Kids was the same thing. They was going to set up a new Garden of Eden for them. And while we're dying off of the zombie virus or dying off of this or dying off of whatever, they would be multiplying and taking over the earth, and the earth would just magically be theirs. Okay.